Hi, good morning students. So, continuing with the module 5, now in this video lecture we are going to discuss regarding cluster evaluation. Okay, so what is cluster evaluation? So, once you form a cluster we need to evaluate them. So, why there is a need to go for a cluster evaluation, or why do you want to evaluate them? So, there are 4 reasons why we need to evaluate a cluster. One is to avoid finding patterns in the noise. So, when we form a clustering, so when you go for a clustering, we should make sure that we should not have a noise present into the clusters. So, noise or the outlier points are completely removed from the clustering or the clusters that are formed. Then to compare clustering algorithms, as you know, there are different clustering algorithms available. For example, K-means algorithm, agglomerative hierarchical clustering algorithm, then we have DB-scan algorithm. So, which one is the best clustering algorithm? We need to evaluate the clusters that are formed using different algorithms, and we need to compare them properly. So, once we compare, then we need to then we will get an idea which algorithm is a better to form the cluster and which one to use. Then to compare two sets of the clusters, to compare two sets of the clusters. So, once a cluster is being formed or two sets of the clusters are being formed, so then we can compare them using the cluster evaluation. Then compare two clusters, two sets of the cluster is different, compare two clusters is different. Two sets means to one set of two sets, one set of the one cluster, another set of the another cluster. So, another cluster will have different number of sets. So, another method is to compare two clusters. So, different aspect of the cluster validation. So, what are the different aspects that we need to consider whenever we are going for a cluster validation? The first thing is determining the cluster tendency of a set of data. So, that is, what is determining cluster tendency? That is nothing but distinguishing whether random structure actually exists in the data or no. So, once we form a cluster, so once the cluster validation is done, so we will be able to find out, or we will be able to distinguish whether there are random structures actually present in the data or no, whether the data that is present is not random, it is a proper way of data. Then comparing the result of a cluster analysis to extremely know the results. Once we perform the cluster analysis, then we was to in cluster validation we need to compare the results of cluster analysis. Why we need to do this? So, in order to give an externally we need to give the class labels, example to externally given class labels. So, whether the clusters that are being formed, whether they belong to a proper class or no, the clusters that are formed that should belong to a proper class labels. Then evaluating how well the results of a cluster analysis fit the data without reference to the external information. So, without reference to the external information, how exactly the result of cluster analysis fit into the data, or the clustering whatever you have done, that exactly what your data is without considering into the external information. Then use only the data, comparing the results of two different set of the cluster analysis to determine which is better. Now, here we need to again take two different cluster, analyze them to determine which one is the better cluster form using which algorithm, determine the correct number of the clusters. So, now if one algorithm is giving 5 clusters, another algorithm is giving 4 clusters, another method is giving 6 clusters. Now, which is the correct number of the clusters? So, that is possible only when we evaluate, when we go for cluster evaluation as well as when we go for cluster validation. Okay, so, for 2, 3 and 4 we further distinguish whether we want to evaluate the entire clustering or just individual clusters. So, now whether, so once you do cluster evaluation, once you do cluster validation, so we will further distinguish whether we need to further evaluate the entire clustering or we just need to go for individual clusters. Now, there are different methods of the cluster evaluation, that is supervised evaluation using cohesion and separation. Cohesion and separation are the two measures using which you can evaluate a cluster, and if you evaluate a cluster using cohesion and separation, that is called as supervised cluster evaluation. Cluster cohesion. So, what is cluster cohesion? Cluster cohesion is nothing but the compactness or the tightness which determine how closely related the objects in a cluster are. Okay, cluster cohesion is nothing but compactness. Okay, so tightness which determine how closely the related objects in the cluster are, and the cluster appellation, that is nothing but the isolation which determine how distinct or well separated a cluster is from the other cluster. So, using this cohesion and separation, we will be able to determine how how closely the two clusters are related to one another, and we will, and using cluster separation, we will also be able to determine how distinct or well separated cluster is from the other cluster. Okay, so then graph based view of cohesion and separation. For a graph based cluster, the cohesion of a cluster can be defined as the sum of the weights of the links in the proximity graph that connects points within the cluster. So, here when you perform cluster analysis or cluster evaluation using cohesion and separation using a graph based view, then here we need to consider the sum of weights of the links in the proximity graph that connects points within the cluster. Thus, the separation between two clusters can be measured by the sum of the weights of the links from points in one cluster to the points in the other cluster. So, now here, so how you define two clusters? So, in a graph based view of the evaluation, the two, how you define the separation between the two clusters? So, that can be measured by the sum of the weights of the links from points in one cluster to the points in the other cluster. Mathematically, cohesion and separation for a graph based cluster can be expressed using the equation 8.9 and 8.10 respectively, that is in the next slide. So, what is the cohesion of a cluster CFI? CFI is any cluster, CFI is any cluster. So, cohesion CFI is equal to summation x of x belongs to CFI and y CFI. So, x values on x axis and y axis for the cluster CFI, the proximity is equal to x comma y, and separation is nothing but CFI comma j is here the separation between the two clusters. Cohesion is only with respect to one cluster. So, here we are not considering C of j. So, here we are considering only CFI, and separation, whereas we need to separate, we need to find the distinctness how different two different clusters are. So, in separation we are taking CFI and CFJ, that is summation x belongs to CFI and y CFJ proximity x of y. So, here cohesion you can see how tightly. So, there are 3 points in this one cluster. So, how these 3 points are closely connected to one another, and separation is connecting every point to the every other point in the two different clusters and taking the sum of their weights and defining how separately, how distinct the two clusters that are being formed, and evaluation can be done based on the sum of the weights, how between sum of the weights of the links between the points into the cluster, and finding out how two different how clusters are different from one another. Then coming to the another method, one is graph based method, another is prototype based view of cohesion and separation. So, here for prototype based clusters, the cohesion of a cluster can be defined as the sum of the proximities with respect to prototype, centroid or the medioid of the cluster. So, here prototype, what we are considering? We are considering centroid and medioid of a cluster. So, for prototype based cluster, the cohesion of a cluster can be defined as the sum of the proximities. Proximities means in the nearby region with respect to the prototype or with respect to the centroid. With respect to the centroid or the medioid, how many number of points in a cluster are closely related to one another. So, that can be used, that can be defined as a cohesion in a prototype base with respect to a centroid or the medioid of the cluster. Similarly, the separation between the two clusters can be measured by the proximity of the two cluster prototypes. The separation, so similarly the separation between the two clusters, how we can measure it? Measured by the proximity of the two cluster prototype. Proximity means how nearer or how far the two prototype or two clusters are separate with respect to the center. So, now in prototype base the equation will change. So, cohesion CFI is equal to x belongs to CFI for the cluster CFI, proximity x comma CFI. The separation between the two clusters CFI and CFJ is equal to proximity CFI and CFJ. We are not considering summation, we are just considering the proximity, that is how different two clusters are, or how nearer or how farer the two clusters CFI and CFJ are, and separation of CFI is equal to proximity CFI comma C. Okay, so this is what the prototype view of a cohesion and separation. So now in a prototype base we are considering the centroid point of a cluster. So with respect to this centroid point, there are 3 points into this cluster, 1, 2 and 3. With respect to these centroid, how closely they are in the proximity of this centroid. So now separation between the two clusters. So whenever we come into the, whenever the concept of separation comes, we need to consider 2 points, 2 clusters. So here we are considering 2 cluster, cluster 1 and cluster 2, and we are taking the centroid of the 2 clusters. Centroid of this cluster is this one, and the centroid of this cluster is this one, and the separation between the 2 clusters, that with respect to the centroid. With respect to the centroid, how two clusters are separate, or how 2 different clusters are distinct from one another. So now measuring, next coming to the measuring cluster validity via correlation. So now so there are different matrices, 2 matrices, or similarity or distance matrix, or 1 row and 1 column for each data point. Any entry is a similarity or distance of associated pair of points. Incidence matrix. So here 1 row and 1 column for each data point. So if you take a matrix, so here what we are considering, so when you represent a cluster in the form of a matrix, we take 1 row and 1 column for each data point. An entry is 1 if the associated pair of the point belongs to the same cluster. So here in a matrix, we will enter a value of 1 only if the associated pair of the point belong to the same cluster. So and in the matrix, we will enter 0 if the associated pair of the points belong to the different cluster. So then compute the correlation between the 2 matrices. Since the matrices are symmetric, only the correlation between n by n minus 1 by 2 entries need to be calculated. So here as the matrices are symmetric, so here only the correlation we need to find out, and the correlation between how many number of points we need to find out, n into n by n minus 1 divided by 2 entries need to be calculated. So high correlation, positive for similarity, negative for distance. For high correlation, for if you want to have cluster validity you are using a correlation. So if the similarity is, for similarity you will get positive values, and for distance you will get negative values. So it indicates that the points that belong to the same cluster are close to each other. So not a good measure for density and contiguity based clusters. So cluster validation using correlation is not a good measure if you are using if the clusters are based on density or the contiguity based clusters. Then coming to the another point, supervised measures of the cluster validity. So here external measures of clustering validity. So what are the external measures of measuring the cluster validity? So two different kinds of approaches are available. The first set of technique use measure from classification, such as entropy, purity and F measure. So they are using external measure. There are 3 external measures. One is entropy, we are going to calculate. Next is the purity of the entropy of the cluster, purity of the cluster, and F measure of the cluster. So these measures, so by calculating these measures, we will be able to evaluate the extent to which a cluster contains objects of a single class. So if you take one cluster, calculate the entropy of that cluster, calculate purity of that cluster, and calculate the F measure. So then based on the values, we will be able to evaluate to what extent the objects in a cluster belongs to a single class. And second group of method is related to similarity measure for binary data, that is as checkered measure. So if you are dealing with a binary data of 0 and 1, then the external measure, one of the measure is checkered measure. So these approaches measure the extent to which 2 objects are in the same class, are in the same cluster, and vice versa. Okay. So entropy, purity and F measure. will give you the extent to which a cluster contains objects of a single class, whereas the Jaccard measure will give you the extent to which two objects that are in the same class are also in the same cluster, or in the same cluster or in the same class. Okay, so next, another classification oriented measures of cluster validity. So, assume that the data is labeled with some class labels. Okay, for example, documents are classified based on the topics. Okay, so consider the data that is given to you is a labeled data. For example, you are given with the documents and these documents are classified based on the topics, or people classified according to their income. So, the people can be classified as low income group, medium income group and high income group. So, people can be classified according to their income, politicians can be classified according to their political political party. So, now if the cluster contains this type of data such as documents, people or politicians which are classified according to either their topics, according to either their income, according to either their political party. Okay. So, then this is called the ground truth. So, now here is the ground truth present. So, now here you are given with the data which contains data that is being classified based on their topics or based on their income, based on their political party. In this case, we want to cluster to be homogeneous with respect to the classes. So, now when you have a data available classified based on their topics or based on their or if you have a labeled data, then in this case what we want to have cluster to be homogeneous with respect to the clusters. Each cluster should contain only elements of mostly one class. So, here what the cluster validity or cluster evaluation, either supervised based or the prototype based or classification oriented measures. So, each cluster should contain element of mostly one class. Each class should ideally assign to a single cluster. We should make sure that one cluster should contain all the data objects of only one class, and all these one class belongs to only one cluster. So, let us take the confusion matrix. So, what can happen in this over here? So, now let us take the cluster 1. Cluster 1 is having a data of n11, n12 and n13, which belong to 3 different classes, class 1, 2 and class 3. So, cluster 2 is also having the data from the objects or the points from class 1, class 2 and class 3, and cluster 3 is also having from class 1, class 2 and class 3. So, here also in the same case. So, here there is a confusion matrix which objects belongs to the which cluster. Okay. So, now here n represents the number of points in the cluster, m of I is the number of points in cluster. So, total number of points in the cluster, and C of j points in the cluster j. So, these are the points. N of I is the number of the points, m of I is the number of clusters, and C of I is the number of points in the C of j is the number of points in the cluster j, and n of I j points in cluster I coming from class j. N of I j is points in cluster I coming from class j, and P of I j is equal to n of I j by m of I is nothing but probability of element from cluster I to be assigned in class j. So, different measures that are used over here. So, entropy of a cluster and entropy of a clustering. Entropy of a cluster, only one cluster E of I is equal to minus summation j to L is equal to 1, probability of P of I j log P of I j, highest when uniform and 0 when single class. So, if it is 0, all the points belong to a single class. Now, entropy of a clustering is equal to summation I equal to 1 to k m of I by n E f into E of I. Then purity of the cluster, P of I is equal to maximum of P of I j, and purity of the clustering, P of C. P of I is the purity of a one cluster, and P of C is nothing but purity of a complete clustering, that is equal to summation I equal to 1 to k m of I by n into P of I. Now, precision of a cluster I with respect to the class j, precision is nothing but precision is errors should be removed, errors between the two different clusters. Okay, so, means the two clusters should be distinct from one another. So, precision of a cluster I with respect to cluster j is equal to precision I j is equal to P of I j. and recall of a cluster with respect to class j is equal to recall of I j is equal to n of I j by C f j, and f measure is harmonic mean of precision and recall. So, once you calculate precision and once you calculate recall, then we will be able to calculate f measure, which is nothing but which is the harmonic mean of precision and recall. So, f of I j is equal to 2 into precision into recall divided by precision plus recall. So, here we will take one example. So, here this example is having cluster 1 cluster 1 is having 2, 3 and 5 cluster class 1 2 cluster 1 class 2 3 and cluster 1 class 3 85 objects. So, total number is 85 plus 5 is equal to 90. Cluster 2 is having 90 points from class 1, 12 points from class 2 and 8 from class 3. So, total is 110, and cluster 3 is having 8 points from class 1, 85 points from class 2 and 7 points from class 3. So, total is 100. So, this is 90 is the total number of points in cluster 1, then 110 number of cluster 2 and 100 into. So, total number of points is 300. So, if we calculate purity, precision and recon, so purity is overall. So, how we get, we will see in this example. So, let us take cluster 1, cluster 2 and cluster 3, the same example I am taking here 2, 3 and 85, 90, 12 and 10, 8, 85 and 7, this is total 90, this is total 110, this is total 100. So, total is 300, 100 plus 102, 10 plus 90 is 300 and this is also 300. So, now cluster 1, so now 2 divided by 90 is point. So, how are we going to calculate this value? So, is that is 2 divided by 90 is 0.02, 3 divided by 90 is 0.03, 85 divided by 90 is 0.94. Then 90 divided by 110 is 0.81, 12 divided by 110 is 0.10, 8 divided by 110 is 0.70, then 8 divided by 100 is 0.08, 8 divided by 85 divided by 100 is 0.85, 7 divided by 100 is 0.07. Okay. So, now next we will calculate purity of the cluster 1. So, purity of the cluster 1. So, what are the maximum values present over here? Purity of the cluster 1 0.02, 0.03 and 0.94. So, maximum, what is the purity of the cluster? Maximum of cluster 1. So, maximum 0.02, 0.83 and 0.94. What is the maximum of this? 0.94. So, 0.95 is the purity of the cluster 1. Purity of the cluster 2. Purity of the cluster 2. Cluster 2 0.81, 0.10 and 0.72. Which is the highest one? 0.81. So, maximum of 0.81, 0.10 and 0.72. So, maximum is 0.1. 0.8181, then the purity of the cluster 3, maximum of this, what is the maximum of this? 0.85, 0.85 is the purity of the cluster 3. So, maximum of 0.08, 0.85, 0.07, 0.85. Then purity of the clustering, is what is 90 divided by 300, 90 purity of the cluster 1 total clustering, then we need to add everything. So, 90 divided by 300 plus maximum of entropy purity of cluster 1. So, that is 90 by 300 into 0.94. Similarly, for cluster 2 110 by 300 plus 0.81 plus 100 divided by 300 into 0.5. So, total purity of the clustering is 0.8605. The entropy of the cluster. So, that is summation j equal to 1 to L P of I j log to the base 2 P of I j. So, take cluster 1. So, cluster 1 is 0.02, 0.03 and 0.94. So, 0.02 into log 0.02 to the base 2 plus 0.03 0.0 into log 0.03 to the base 2 and 0.94 log 0.94 to the base 2. So, that you will get entropy of the cluster is 0.36. Similarly, entropy of the cluster 2 is 0.86. Then entropy of the cluster 3 similarly 0.8 log to the base 2, 0.08 log to the base 2 plus 0.85 log to the base 2 0.85 plus 0.07 log to the base 2, that is entropy of the clustering is for cluster 3 is 0.95. So, then entropy of the total clustering. So, we are going to calculate the entropy of the total clustering. is equal to summation I equal to 1 to k m of I by n into E of I. So, that is, this is what total number of points in cluster 1, and this is the total number of points in all these three clusters, 90 divided 300 into 0.362, it is 0.362 is entropy of cluster 1. So, 110 is the number of points in cluster 2 divided by total number of points into 0.86 is the entropy of the cluster 2. Then this is 100 is the number of points in cluster 3 divided by total number of points in cluster 3 into total number of points into 0.7593 is the entropy of the cluster 3, that is 0.67. So, now coming to the another example, correlation between the cluster and matrices. So, let us take let us see an example of correlation how between the clusters and matrices. So, to demonstrate this idea more concentrately, we will give an example involving 5 data points. So, there are 5 data points P1, P2, P3, P4 and P5. So, there are 5 points and 2 clusters. So, cluster 1 is having point P1, P2 and P3, and cluster 2 is having points P4 and P5. And there are 2 classes, there are 2 clusters. 2 clusters are different, 2 classes are different. 2 clusters, cluster 1 is having P1, P2 and P3, cluster 2 is having P4 and P5, whereas there are 2 classes, class 1 L1 is having only P1 and P2, and class 2 is L2 is having P3, P4 and P5. So, the ideal cluster and similarity matrix are given in the table 8.10 and 8.11. The correlation between 2 entries using these 2 matrices. So, now if I want to, we also we need to find out there are 4 quantities. So, now if you want to have the correlation between the cluster and matrices, we need to concentrate, we need to also note that there are 4 quantities that define contingency. So, here we are considering the contingency. So, the 4 different quantities we need to consider, one is f of 0 0, f of 0 1, f of 1 0 and f of 1 1. So, f of 1 1, so wherein the total number of objects in the same cluster and same class, f of 1 0 is the total number of objects in the same class, but in different cluster, f of 0 1 is the total number of objects in same cluster, but different class, and f of 0 0 is the total number of points in different cluster and different class. Okay, so, what is f of 0 0? That is number of pairs of objects having different class and different cluster. F of 0 1 number of pairs of objects having different class and same cluster, and f of 1 0 is the number of pairs of objects having same class and different cluster, and f of 1 1 is the number of pairs of objects having same class and same cluster. In particular, the simple matching coefficient, which is known as the Rand statistics in this context, and Jaccard coefficient are the 2 of the most frequently used cluster validity measures. So, here we are using 2 cluster validity measures, one is Rand statistics and one more is Jaccard coefficient. So, what is Rand statistics? F of 0 0 plus f of 1 1 by f of 0 0 plus f of 0 1 plus f of 1 0 plus f of 1 1, then Jaccard coefficient is equal to f of 1 1 by f of 0 1 plus f of 1 0 plus f of 1 1. This will see with the same example we will be going to solve over here. So, determine the Jaccard coefficient and Rand statistics for the 5 data points, the same 5 data points we are taking P1, P2, P3, P4 and P5. There are 2 clusters P1, P2 and P3. There are 2 clusters, cluster 1 is having P1, P2 and P3, cluster 2 is having P4 and P5. So, two-way contingency table for determining whether pair of objects are in the same class and same cluster is the table shown over here. So, f of 1 1 gives you same class and same cluster. So, f of 1 0 will give you same class but different cluster, f of 0 1 will give you number of objects in same cluster and different class, and f of 0 0 will give you number of objects in different class and different clusters. So, Rand statistics we know f of 1 1 by plus f of 0 0 divided by f of 1 1 plus f of 1 0 plus f of 0 1 and f of 1 0 0, and Jaccard coefficient f of 1 1 by f of 1 0 plus f of 0 1 plus f of 1 1. So, as given in the example, so there are 2 clusters, cluster 1 is having P1, P2 and P3, and cluster 2 is having P4 and P5, whereas class L1 is having P1 and P2, and class 2 is having P2, P3, P4 and P5. So, let us determine how many number of objects are in the same class and same cluster, same class and different cluster, different class and same cluster, different class and different class and different clusters. So, now you take first points P1 and P2. P1 and P2 are in the same class, P1 and P2 are in the same class and same cluster. So, this is true, f of 1 1 is true, and remaining f of 1 0, f of 0 1 and f of 0 0 are false. Then P1 and P3, P1 is in cluster 1, whereas P1 and P3 in cluster 1, but P3 is in cluster 2. So, they are in the same cluster, but different class. So, same cluster and different class. P1 and P4 different class and different cluster. P1 and P5 different class and different cluster. P2 and P3 same same class and different cluster. Then P2 and P4 different class, different cluster. Then P3 P4 different class, P3 and P4 same class and different cluster, P3 and P5 same class and different cluster, and P4 and P5 same class and same cluster. So, now calculate. So, f of 1 1, this is f of 1 1 1 and 2. So, f of 1 1 value is 2. So, now this is f of 1 1, this is f of 1 0, f of 1 0 is also 2, then this is f of 0 1 is 2, f of 0 1 is 2, and f of 0 0 is 1 2 3 and 4. So, here it is, f of 1 1 is 1 and 2, that is 2, f of 1 0 is 1 and 2, this is 2, and f of 0 1 is 1 and 2, this is 2, and f of 0 0 is 1 2 3 and 4, that is total 4. So, now rank statistics is equal to, what is the rank statistics? F of 1 1 plus f of 0 0. What is f of 1 1 is 2, f of 1 1 is 2, and f of 0 0 is 4. So, 2 plus 4 divided by 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 4, that is equal to 0.6, and the Jaccard coefficient is nothing but f of 1 1. What is f of 1 1? Its value is 2. Then what is f of 1 0 is 2, f of 0 1 is 2, and f of 1 1 is 2, that is 2 divided by 2 plus 2 plus 2, that is equal to 0.33. Okay. So, this is all regarding the cluster evaluation and regarding similarity measures using the Rand statistics, and we have seen one example and how Rand statistics and Jaccard coefficient can be used to find out that how many number of objects that belongs to the same cluster and same class, same cluster and different class and different clusters. So, this is sufficient for this video. In the next video lecture, we will go for the density based clustering. So, thank you.